to talk about, this is a really cool subject that I'm really, really interested in, and I've done a lot of research on it, but two subjects. We're going to talk about the purification of the soul, you know, in an alchemical process of how they view it and how they talk about it. So it's like three main ways to do it, which we'll talk about. And we're going to talk about epigenetics. But, okay, so we're going to talk about epigenetics. And if you guys don't know what epigenetics is, there's lots of videos on it. I really, really want everyone to go and do more research on it. But in, you know, the most simplest way of what epigenetics is, it's like, it's how your body decides which genes to use in the moments throughout your life. Your DNA is the blueprint, okay? But epigenetics is the instruction manual that says what to use, what part to use. Ignore that part or use this now and not later, right? So the epigenetics is, it's kind of like it decides what DNA to use. The DNA does not change in the human body, okay, when this happens. It's like, it's a choice, I guess. Now, why does this even exist? Well, every cell has the same DNA, but the brain cell acts like a different brain cell. A skin cell acts like skin. A muscle cell acts like a muscle, okay? But epigenetics tells cells what to become and how to and what changes in epigenetics, okay? Your genes responds to stress and safety, trauma or calm, nutrition, sleep, repetition of habits, the environment, noise, light, social contact. Your body is consistently asking. I had to pop in this section here just to tell you the reason why I'm talking about this is because you can use this thinking and this understanding of how epigenetics works and how all this stuff works when you're practicing high magic. The effect it has on you and your magic. Take this knowledge, science, okay, and take this and incorporate it into your practices because it's going to make the outcome 1,000 times more potent and more powerful. As an individual, as a sovereign being, when you understand how genetics and energy manipulation, thought, all of this stuff works, you start to mold your reality and your will, to your will, way better than you would by a simple incantation. And you need to understand the mechanics. And that's what I'm trying to get at, guys. The mechanics of magic, of Heka, of consciousness, of cause and effect. All of this plays into roles. And this is how you become more sovereign, more, you're just going to become more. Remember that word, becoming. So don't just practice magic for the fuck of it. Understand it metaphysically, esoterically, scientifically. And I'm telling you, your life will change. Okay, let's get back to that. Okay. Your body's going to be saying, is the world dangerous or safe? Epigenetics adjusts to the system, to your system, and it can, but can it be passed down? These are some good questions. Can it be passed down? Yes. Some epigenetics changes can be passed down to the children. All right. This means like children may be born with anxious or vigilant, not because of memory, but because their system now is pre-tuned, right? You can change your genetics and pass it down. It's crazy. Now, is this permanent? No, it's not permanent. Like the individual can, and it's flexible. It changes with safety, stable routines, calm repetition, supportive relationships, regulation of the nervous system. okay? This is really deep, okay, if you really understand this. Now, basically, if I were to sum up epigenetics, it's how your life experience turns genes on and off without changing the genes themselves through your experiences, okay? That's epigenetics. That brings us to thinking of how we can consciously turn on and off certain genes, right? Evolution, physical evolution, spiritual evolution. Now, we're going to talk about the alchemical processes of the alchemical processes now, okay, of the soul. So you got stage 1. I'm sure many of you have heard this, okay? It's Nigredo. It's the blackening, okay? This is encountered inherited patterns. So trauma, fear, compulsion, repetition, especially repetition of ancestral runes. But psychologically, the shadow breakdown, depression, disillusionment, being disillusioned oh man, I'm horrible at words today. Biologically, the nervous system is overloaded, and the stress response. This is the stress response. This is why many people stop, or they just crack, they break. Now, stage 2, okay, is albedo. It's the whitening. This is differentiation of what is yours versus what is inherited. The nervous system, recalibration, okay? Emotional clarity, symbolically washing the blood. Now, epigenetically, this mirrors reduced stress markers. Repattern responses, new regulatory expressions. Stage 3 is Rubedo, the rendering. This is the integration. This is the blood made conscious. The individual becomes a stable vessel. This is what alchemists, what they meant is fixing the volatile, making the stone. The soul does not leave the body, okay? The body becomes capable of holding the soul fully, okay? These are the stages of alchemical soul growth. The spiritual gifts refamed without fantasy. Spiritual gifts are not supernatural add-ons. Okay, they are inherited by neural sensitivity, refined through purification, stabilized through integration. All of this stuff is going to start happening when you go through these processes. Here's some examples: mediumship, high empathy, thin sensory filtering, visionary state, strong default mode access, magical focus, okay, symbolic cognition, vampiric or predatory currents, atomic dominance, energetic boundary control. Without alchemical purifications, this is what will happen: psychosis, and our favorite word, narcissism, dissociation, and obsession. This is why ancient systems require initiations, ordeal, and discipline. The first humans and the mystic memory. Okay, when myths speak of Adam, Adamu, Atam, Manu, they are not speaking about a single man, okay? They are speaking of the awakening of the reflective consciousness, the moment the nervous system could witness itself, the birth of symbolic thought. Right? This is heavy. The DNA does not remember Adam. Your nervous system reenacts the same awakening every time consciousness becomes self-ancestral memory without mysticism. Yet, there is no gene that stores memories like a hard drive, okay? But it is inherited by, it's inherited sensitivities and thresholds. Examples, heightened stress, enhanced pattern of recognition, musical, to people talented, visual, predisposition towards a trance. Sorry, I'm not saying that word again. Now, these traits are like clusters in a family memory line. They're not like, you can see people passing down their spiritual gifts. You can see talent of singing and people who are so talented and within the family. It's passed down. Okay, sorry guys, I got interrupted and sidetracked. But I just want to say, basically, that we have the power. It's now being scientifically proven through epigenetics that we can change our genetics. You can't blame your hereditary defects. And this comes with magic too. If you're not good, if you don't think that you can spiritually achieve something, that's just bullshit, because you can. It's through this power of epigenetics that we can change our genetics. I was watching one video of this lady talking about the power of this, it is possible for us, let's say you don't have a limb, through, I guess, some kind of concentration. I don't know the whole process, but we are capable of genetically repairing and growing parts of limbs or something like that. Like, it's very, very powerful stuff that our body can change through our thoughts and our environment. And, so yeah, you have no excuse for anything, because it comes down to your choice. It's the choice. You are not your father. You are not your mother. If you were raised in a family of total toxic pedophilia, you can end that. Okay? You can end that fucking gene. I don't really think it's a gene. Well, you know what? I don't know specifically. I mean, we do know that pedophilia is taught. We do know that because it's usually through the family that they learn it from, right? But then again, if we separated twins whose family is pure pedophilia and put them in the same situation with different, would they both choose pedophilia, or is it just the environment, right? I would think that it's more the environment. I mean, if they had an urge to, I think if they weren't around it and they knew that it would hurt, like, they would choose the right thing. That's what I would think, but I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist and I'm not doing all that stuff, but I do know that you can change. And now we have scientific proof of epigenetics and the power of the human mind. The power we have within us is unbelievable. So remember the stages of alchemy within your soul, trauma, the integration, all this stuff I'm teaching right now, because I think it's important to understand the psychological impact black magic has on one person. And throughout your practices, you will see how your magic works because of where your mindset is at. I hope this helped. I hope this conversation was good, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna finish eating my fishies, and I'll see you guys later.